Hello, Accelerated Math 7-8 students. We are working in Module 12, and this is Lesson 9, and it is called the Pythagorean Theorem. Okay? The Pythagorean Theorem. Now, some of you are thinking, especially if you were with me clear back in 6th grade, that this might sound and look familiar to you, the Pythagorean Theorem. The goal for today we will learn how to use the Pythagorean Theorem. The question that I want you to think about is, how do the sides of a right triangle relate to each other? Okay? Some things to know. This set of notes that we're going to take today is all about information, about vocabulary, about information for you to be successful. So on the things to know, it's a lot of writing, but I need you to know it so that you can help figure it out. A right triangle is made of 3 sides, 2 of which are perpendicular, forming a right angle. So if we look at this right triangle, you might see it sitting in here. I want you to look and see if you can find it. Okay? The sides are called leg, leg, hypotenuse. The only time they're called leg, leg, hypotenuse is if it has a right angle in it. The hypotenuse is always opposite the right angle. Okay? The way that right triangles are made is because we take the square of the legs and we add them together, and they always equal the square of the hypotenuse. So let's try it. Okay? So let's take a look at it. We have this is a leg of the triangle. This is a leg of the triangle. And so what we just said in this sentence up here is that if you take the distance of this and find its area, the distance of this and find its area, remembering that these are squares, if you add this and this together, it will be the area of the longest side. Okay? And so what number times itself would make 9 square units? Hopefully you all know that by now. Okay? So it says, what is the side length of the blue square? We're going to say this is the blue square. I know this is a purple pen, but we're going to call that the blue square. So what is the side length? What number times itself makes 9? You're absolutely right, 3 units. Okay, what is the side length of the orange? So we're going to call this one an orange. On my computer, it actually was orange. Okay, so what number times itself gives you 16? You should say 4. Very good. Okay, and then it says, what is the side length of the green square? We're going to say this is the green square. What number times itself gives you 25? We're going to say it's 5, and you are correct. Now, I want you to look at something. 3 times 3. So we're going to say this side length right here is 3. We're going to say this side length right here is 4, and we're going to say this side length right here is 5. Now watch. 3 times 3 equals 9. 4 times 4 equals 16. 5 times 5 equals 25. Now, boys and girls, help me. What is 9 plus 16? Add them together. So we have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Regroup, 25. So we're saying this area plus this area equals this area. Does everybody see that? Okay, that's called the Pythagorean Theorem. So check it out. If we call this A, and we call this B, and we're going to call this C. So if we take A, which happens to be 3, and square it, we get 9. If we take B and square it, we get 16. If we take C and square it, we get 25. And you just proved that 9 plus 16 equals 25. So the Pythagorean Theorem, when somebody says, what is the Pythagorean Theorem? You're going to say, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And the reason why it works is this proof right here. You take this square plus this square, and it will give you this square. But the thing that is so important about this lesson is that this only works if you have a right triangle. Does everybody see the right triangle right there? And then the other thing that you have to remember is the longest side of the right triangle always sits across from the right angle. Remember, this is the right angle. Since this is the right angle, the longest side always has to be across from it. Okay? So what we've learned by looking at this diagram is 3 squared, 9. plus 4 squared, 16, equals 5 squared, 25. And this, because this works, proves that the triangle is a right triangle. So if your job is to prove it's a right triangle, then you need to try the Pythagorean theorem and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then it's not a right triangle, okay? So this is really fun, and to me, this is one of my favorite lessons because once you can figure out how to work with these, it tells you a lot of information. The number one thing you have to remember about the Pythagorean theorem is you can only use it if you have a right triangle. That's the only time you can use it. The other thing you have to remember is the hypotenuse, which is the longest leg of your triangle, always sits across from the 90-degree angle. Okay? So going back to our goal, today we will learn how to use the Pythagorean theorem. I think we did that. Okay, we're going to have some more practice problems with it, actually quite a few. They're in your packet. And the question, how do the sides of a right triangle relate to each other? The answer to that is, well, you take the leg squared plus leg squared equals the hypotenuse squared. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That's how they're related to each other. Okay? All right, that's all that I have for you, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye!